Today, we go up, up, and away with the Wright brothers when Wilbur and Orville Wright made 4 brief flights at Kittyhawk, North Carolina with their first powered aircraft. Hi, I'm Chris May, writer, producer, and host of This Day in Weather History. Right through December 22nd, Ireland is the place for us. We're sponsored by Tourism Ireland, and they are ready whenever you are. All you have to do is plan your trip today, press the green button now, and we'll see you in Ireland. So the Wright brothers wrote to the Weather Bureau office in Kittyhawk, which seemed like as good as any a candidate for this critical series of test flights. This day in weather history. You board a plane and you take off, but then the seat is uncomfortable. The movie isn't what you wanted, the food is never enough, and they only have sample-sized bags of pretzels. Did you ever stop to wonder, however, just how far we have come from when we were only just beginning our quest for human flight? You had the Wright brothers who had finally reached that pinnacle where extensive testing was ready to take place for their first ever powered flight. But now, where to do it? Best weather conditions helped, but how does one make sure you're in the right place for that? Go to where the experts are. The first Weather Bureau station in North Carolina was established by the Signal Corps of the U.S. Army on August 16th of 1874 at Cape Hatteras. Then a second weather office was set up at the Kittyhawk Life-Saving Station from January 2nd of 1875 to 1904. Aha! Let's try there, they thought. Now, they had been there before, so it was not actually a cold call. You see, back in the year 1900, the Wright brothers conducted manned gliding experiments at the same site at Kittyhawk. The region was known for its regular breezes and soft, sandy landing surfaces. Just perfect for what they had in mind. So they wrote their letter to Mr. Joseph J. Dosher from that site's Weather Bureau office. Must not have been a very busy office because they received a prompt and friendly reply from Mr. Dosher, who sort of campaigned all the best reasons why they should choose the Kittyhawk area for their test flights. Sounds to me like, please, someone just visit me. You're listening to This Day in Weather History, a podcast from the Weather Network in Canada, sponsored through December 22nd by Tourism Ireland. Touring the coast, visiting Galway City, driving the wide, vast, open landscapes of this truly remarkable and magical country. There was also a couple of days I spent in Dublin. There, I toured the Guinness plant and also took some time in an afternoon to visit Windmill Lane Recording Studio, the home of some of the greatest recordings of all time, including Achtung Baby by U2, that while I was there celebrated its 30th anniversary. So it was set, and the day arrived. Initial flight lasted 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. Not a long distance, but something. 3 more flights later, and that very same day, Wilbur Wright piloted the record flight that lasted 59 seconds and a distance of over 852 feet. It was monumental. It was historical. Who do you tell first? The media? The president? Orville Wright walked to the Kittyhawk weather office late in the afternoon of December 17th, 1903, this day in weather history, and sent a telegraph to his father. Yeah, at that point, he let him know just how successful the whole day was, and I thought that was the best. From this first major breakthrough, we fast forward now to October of 1911. Orville Wright returned to the Outer Banks after making some adjustments to the aircraft and conducted more tests for safety and stabilization with a new glider. These tests were for aerodynamics, of course. The results would help further the advancements of their powered flight projects. The air industry took off from that moment. Only 15 short years after Kittyhawk, on December 1st of 1918, and the U.S. Weather Bureau issued its very first aviation weather forecast. This was now the dawn of a whole new mode of travel and commerce. So then, on May 20th of 1926, Congress passed the Air Commerce Act, which included legislation directing the Weather Bureau to, quote, furnish weather reports, forecasts, warnings to promote the safety and efficiency of air navigation in the United States. The Wright brothers chose Kittyhawk based on the relationship that they forged with the Kittyhawk National Weather Bureau, and thus was born the close tie that lasts to this day between weather and flight as a complementary science. from this day in weather history. Tomorrow is December 18th, and with only 7 short days till Christmas morning, we head up a story about a killer cobra. It happened back in 1944 and struck a U.S. task force during World War II in the Pacific. On this day in weather history, with me, your host, Chris May. And sponsored by Tourism Ireland right through December 22nd. Remember that on December 21st, we have that special winter solstice edition of the podcast, but this told from the tales of 5,200 years at Newgrange.